I've been in the field with this dog and she just cleans the field and you're just like, all right, this is nice. This is a bird dog. Then the next day you're like, you're you don't get to be called a bird dog. Like
Why do
What
I
just
feed you?
happened?
yeah. Randall was like, what's wrong with her? I was like, it's one of her days. And
He
then
called it.
the rest of the hunt, I'm gonna let Randall tell the story.
We're like, we'll take the two that we have a lot of faith in, and then bring the goose because
Why not?
the goose is awesome. And you pull out the camera and you're like, this is perfect. You go up and flush and shoot.
I'm enjoying this whole sequence.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch and film Randall shoot a bird over my dogs.
Yep.
This is going great.
Everybody's getting what they want. Everybody's getting what they want. And then except Lucy.
Everybody in that field was looking at her, including herself, saying, "What is wrong with you?"
Lucy just pulled out a mirror. Is like, I hate the way I am.
Since I've known you, you've had a certain affinity for my little Munstie, my little crackhead Munstie, Lucy, aka Leroy Jenkins, which we're gonna get to here in a second.
The goose.
I used to tell you that there's two sides to that dog. I tell everybody, and a lot of people say this about their dogs, but like this one, it is true. I've been in the field with this dog, and she just cleans the field, and you're just like, all right, this is nice. This is a bird dog. Then the next day, you're like, you don't get to be called a bird dog.
Why do
What
I
just
feed you?
happened?
Yeah. And we can save the whole suspicions as to why or how we arrived at that. But bottom line is, we're here, we're there. This is what we're dealing with. You've never seen her in her Mr. Hyde stage, and so I want to get your interpretation because I've been telling you for a while, and you're like, man, I don't think it's that big a deal. And we walked out yesterday, and Cory, I looked at him, and Randall was like, "What's wrong with her?" I was like, "It's one of her days." And
He
then
called it.
the rest of the hunt, I'm gonna let Randall tell the story because I think it's no longer lost on him what I'm dealing with here.
Yeah. Man, I kept holding out hope, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, there are dogs out there that that's just who they are, man. Like, whatever flavor they're doing for the owner or whatever. Like, that's some of this is just who they are. Like, you can't train everything out or into a dog.
Yeah.
They are who they are. They're sentient beings. But man, me and you take off. We take our two dogs who were like, yep, these will be fine.
Rachel and Creek.
He's a little gassed. He's got a little pad laceration, so he's being a little baby about it. But we're like, we'll take the two that we have a lot of faith in, and then bring the goose because
Why not?
The goose is awesome. Rachel sticks a point, real nice. I get a solid backing opportunity. I'm like, this is that's what I'm after out here. Like, I want backs with him, the birds or whatever. Like, I'm after backs out here. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is going to be beautiful. He's got another dog backing him. He's backing a dog. Like, I need this. And, you pull out the camera and you're like, this is perfect. You go up and flush and shoot.
I'm enjoying this whole sequence.
Yep.
I'm going to watch and film Randall shoot a bird over my dogs.
Yep.
This is going great.
Everybody's getting what they want. Everybody's getting what they want. And then except Lucy.
She was the first one to stop at the top of the ridge. She
Yep.
backed of her own accord.
Yep. So I go in to start flushing, and everyone's happy. Everyone's about to get what they want, and I hear feet coming behind me. Man, I hear a horse coming, and I thought it was my dog. I was like, surely that is my dog. So I turn around and yell, "Whoa!" and I see a little white fur missile go by me, and I'm like, that's not my dog. So I'm not going to keep screaming at not my dog. And, Lucy goes in there and busts a couple huns, and Rachel just looks at her like, I will drown you in that puddle. I will make enough water to drown you.
It was hilarious. Like, I mean, she literally...
Everybody was like, what the... like, everybody except Lucy.
In a million years, I never would have guessed in that instance that's what she would have done. But she went in there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to throw those birds into the air.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other possibility for that dog. She just rooted them up and just tossed them. And as soon as they got in the air, she just stopped. and turned around and looked, and you're standing there. Creek still hadn't left.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm
he's
standing
60
there.
yards back.
Rachel, all three of us, me, you, and Rachel, are looking at her, and I swear I just started saying, "What the f was
Yeah,
that?"
you did say that. Yeah, I remember you said it.
Got Rachel on point. Randall getting situated. Whoa! Whoa! What the fuck was
And I swear, like, I saw in Lucy's eyes, she's like, "I don't know what's wrong with me."
I am just who I am. I'm sorry.
There's two
I'm
people in
sorry.
here, dude.
It was
And
funny.
I'm just sitting here like, and what do you do? Because I mean, it was just like the timing's done. You can't really correct anything, but it's just like, you know what? Just out of principle of the matter, I got to do something. So I just take her back 15, 20 yards, just long enough to get her to understand. Like, I'm not going all the way back up to the ridge, but I carry her back, load her, and then I just made her stand there for a while. I doubt it connected anything whatsoever, but it's just like, no, there's got to be something here repercussion wise. and so and so I did that, and I'm just sitting there. It was the funniest thing. I swear Rachel was looking at her, because Rachel just kind of came off point and was just standing, I swear, just looking at her like, what is, everybody in that field was looking at her, including herself, saying, "What is wrong with you?"
Lucy just pulled out a mirror. Was like, I hate the way I am. It was funny, man. But then, like, I saw it. You've been warning me, like, hey, man,
Leroy
if
Jenkins,
other
that
dogs
man.
are on the ground, she's just gonna hunt for her back.
Yeah.
She's just gonna. You'll see her follow all the other dogs. She's gonna hunt close. She's gonna look for her back. And I was like, no, this can't be true. And you're right. That
What
is
she
what
did.
she does. And then the porcupines and porcupines and porcupines and
So let's tell that story. Let's go in this after she Leroy Jenkins, which if anybody doesn't know the Leroy Jenkins reference, it's like I don't know, a decade ago. It's been a while, but yeah, there's this dude that just would do the online gaming thing and piss everybody off because they'd be coming up with a plan, and he would just yell Leroy Jenkins
just
and just
jump
go
out.
and take somebody out.
he's a hero we needed. That's what he was.
Yeah, if you don't get the reference, Google it if you're inclined. But moving on from the Lucy Leroy Jenkins moment, we continue hunting, and she's just doing the same thing. And like, I'm not even upset.
Dogs.
Don't edit this part out, dude. It's bird dogs, man. It's
Yeah,
this is
it's
real
bird dogs,
life.
right?
This is what it's like having a chain gang of bird
Quiet, as
dogs.
quiet as they've been since we've
Right.
been here.
Just out of nowhere, puppy being puppy. Yeah, we continue on the hunt, and Lucy's being Lucy. Frustrating. I think it opened your eyes up to exactly what I've been saying. It's frustrating because we know that she has better in her than that, but it is what it is. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden she kind of goes out of sight, and she's kind of behind me, which that's not common. Like, she's at least always in front. But at that moment, she's back behind me a little ways. It's like 40, 50 yards, not far. And I don't think anything of it. But Rachel goes on point in front of us across this little coulee. And Randall and I go, and we're going to go handle it. So he's going to get another backing opportunity on Rachel. At this time, I'm kind of looking at my watch. Like, all right, Lucy's still behind me. And I'm wanting to make sure that she doesn't root up another bird. Ultimately, is my only concern with it. And so, we go up, and by the time we get kind of even with Rachel, nothing's flown yet, but we look up, and here comes the goose, and she just comes and slams into a back, muzzle full of porcupine quills.
Yeah. Had her a little beard full of
Just-
porcupine quills.
Just a nice little goatee, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, that's you met a porcupine, but that doesn't count as a porcupine encounter. Like, it's cute, good, nice try, but let's finish this bird sequence and I'll get you cleaned up. Like,
Yeah.
you're fine. And we go in, and there's no birds there. Right? I mean, Rachel's staunch. I'm like, what is this? So we call Rachel and Creek back over there, and we sit down and we do the porcupine dance and just pulling the quills, and it doesn't take long. It's not that bad. There's a few decent ones, like one was through her lip, and pulled that out, and there was one that broke off at the skin that I could not get out. That was the only one, so I'm keeping an eye on it. But the funny part was not necessarily funny. As soon as we get done, We get our stuff back on, and we release them. Lucy just goes and dive bombs into the brush that Rachel was pointing before this whole sequence, and there's a porcupine in there.
Yep. And
Call
now
her.
we're like, no,
We
no.
recall them off of that. Like, all right, nobody gets hurt on that. I'm like, oh, what are the odds of that? So there's 2 porcupines there, and in the morning, Randall came across a porcupine with one of his dogs, and then Quinn pointed a porcupine earlier. So there's 4 porcupines already at this point throughout the day. So this place is just loaded up. Well, we continue up this little gully, 300 yards. Rachel goes on point again, and I see the grove of trees. I'm like, this is gonna be another freaking porcupine, and she comes off of it and carries on, continues going hunting, and I just see Lucy just doing these laps inside the grove. I'm like, here we go, and I'm just this time I pull out the collar, like we're gonna get a training opportunity out of this, and sure enough. I finally see the big. I mean, it was a Volvo-sized porcupine. It was huge, but it was up in the tree, and so Lucy like treed the porcupine, and so I did a little deterrence training. You know, she felt some of the juice on that one, and hopefully fixed that. But I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Leroy Jenkins takes out the bird, and the next thing you know, 3 porcupine contacts in a matter of like 15, 20 minutes, and. Yeah, it's just I'm just sitting here like this is one of those days to where when I tell you when I notice that in her when she starts acting like that, I just go put her up, and I should have turned around and went and put her back in the box when we started the hunt, because there's other things throughout the rest of that just neither great or bad, but it's just frustrating when just 2 nights ago she had one of her great hunts. Like, I mean, just ranging back and, pointing. I mean, just, she has it in her. It just.
What day is it?
What day is it, man? What side of the bed did she sleep on? I don't know.
Yep. Man, that's just
some dogs are that way, man.
That's just who she is. I mean, I don't know. I would. Like after seeing it, it's been intriguing to me of like, what could we do? Like, maybe there's some other things that we could, like ritual wise and some punishment stuff too. And I'm like, man, like that would be an interesting problem to dissect and just, have fun and experiment on it. But, I don't know how far it would go past that.
The thoughts cross my mind, but at the end of the day, it's also like she's a 6-7-year-old dog now.
Yeah.
And I wish that the knowledge that I have now, I had 5-6 years ago. This whole thing could have been prevented, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this isn't handler or owner caused or induced.
Well, I don't think all of it is.
Yeah,
part of it's just who she is.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But it also I didn't help things. I'm sure but I would be curious if I had a time machine to kind of see what could have been done with her with the knowledge, and like you said, just experiment with things a little different, because it's funny. I get asked about her all the time because she's like, people get around her. She's interesting. She's a good looking dog, very energetic, very lively. People ask about her all the time, and
she's engaging. She like engages you.
Yeah,
that's why people are drawn to her, because she's like, hey,
what up?
What are you doing here? Want to see what I could do? And you're like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, what's up?